All right, so you've asked for my video on phenomenology, and so you can see that I'm walking here. There's the Pacific Ocean, and my eyes, instead of becoming myopic and focused on the problem, which is, it could be the prompt, it could be the essay question, it could be how do I finish this paragraph, and as I take a walk down the street and circle back around, let's say I'm ending right here, and I'm turning around, I'm coming full circle physically and also mentally. And there is a lot of science behind this. And I'll tell you a couple quick stories. My students and I used to have them read a poem out loud, and they would be standing, and I would ask them to write down 5 words that stood out to them. And then I would ask them to walk around the classroom and ask them to read the same poem and ask them to circle 5 words that stood out to them. And those 5 words were very much different. They had a different physicality to those words. And then I would have them read a 3rd time, and this time they would lie down on the ground and they would feel the grounding of the ground on their back, and I would ask them to read the poem. Usually I would read it out loud for them, and they'd have their notebooks right by them, and they would write down 5 words that stood out to them, and these 5 words were even more physical. So the point I'm getting at is we have to step away from the desk, and we have to engage with our environment. We have to get active. We have to expand the amount of time that we're doing for the writing, but spend less time. Because what's happening here is if we spread out the writing process, instead of 2 hours all at once, maybe 30 minutes twice, right? Notice that's only 1 hour versus 2 hours. That's because when we're taking walks, when we're active, we're letting our brain and our bodies interact. By the way, the eyes are not an appendage of the brain. They are actually the outer brain. Yes, you're looking at my brain. That's according to Dr. Andrew Huberman at Stanford University School of Medicine. And so, as you're taking a walk, and notice as I pass trees, what happens is our eyes make little micro movements. I'll exaggerate. Those movements back and forth happen so rapidly that we don't even see it happening. We're not even aware of it happening. And this is activating parts of the brain that are more creative. Okay? So I have a method for doing this. I have my students, when they're drafting or when they're revising, they're doing peer response to what they've written. They will actually, I'll pair them up and I'll say, we're all going outside. We go into the quad, we go into the track and field, and then everybody's just paired up. And when they come back, they have all these ideas and they're refreshed and they look like they've been outside. And by the way, that's a great way to shrink your problems, is when we are focused on the screen, the lined paper, or whatever it is, the notebook, and we don't give ourselves a break, we are training ourselves to be nearsighted and myopia. It's not just a physical eye condition, it's a mental condition. And so what you allow your eyes to do, you allow your brain to do. So that's manipulating your phenomena. And that's why I say phenomenology. So get out, swim, skydive, if you do that, if you're trained. Ride your bike. Here's the other thing. Carry a notebook with you. And so ideas. Students don't write for 2 reasons. They don't know what to write about, so they need ideas. That's what a notebook helps you with. You capture ideas a little at a time. Every day you write in your notebook for 5 minutes. What happened today in 2 sentences? How did I feel about what happened today? Also, I have a connections journal. It's structured in such a way that students are making connections that will help them in their projects. Now, this is really important, especially when students have a major project like the college entrance exam. the college entrance essay, or the personal essay, the personal statement as it's known, which is about 400 to 650 words. That's a major project, so that deserves a large amount of time, not all at once, but spread out over months, right? I teach students how to do this. So my information is in the description there. And so what are the next steps? Basically, you can contact me for a 1 to 2 minute consultation to see if group online tutoring is a good fit for your student. I have 15 years experience being an English teacher in charter schools, home schools, regular public schools, and a tutor for probably about 20 years now in all kinds of settings. One-on-ones, group sessions, working for professional companies, and my students are successful. They are more creative. They trust me. I help them. They far exceed other students in the district because of the help, the patience, the understanding that I give them. Okay? So, the next step to this 1 minute consultation, if I invite you after that 1 minute, and I like what I'm hearing and you like what you're hearing, we will schedule a 30-minute student success session with your student and both parents or the decision-making parent, and we'll just talk about goals. We'll just talk about needs. And we'll give that student a customized roadmap based upon my expert experience, my expert training. I'm a fully certified teacher. I've got a clear California credential and passed all the CSETs, so I'm more qualified than 90% of the English teachers out there, and I can teach you how to score really well on timed writes, and my personal essay got me into UC Berkeley with a 1250 SAT and a less than 4.0 GPA, and trust me, I mean less than GPA. And by the way, extracurriculars, less is more. It's about telling a story, a compelling story. And so your student has to be creative. They have to tell that story in a way that no one else has ever told. A 4.7 GPA, a 1600 SAT, and 20 different extracurricular activities are not going to get them into the college of their choice. They're just going to be a cookie cutter of everybody else. What's going to be the difference there? The personal statement, and not just that personal statement, the essay, which I help with, but how it tells the story of what's in the rest of the application, the transcript, the test scores, the extracurriculars. All of those things tell a story. You have to know how to tell a story. Everybody knows what a story is. A story involves conflict, a main character who has an object of desire, and those objects of desire, or that object of desire, is being thwarted by the forces of antagonism that we call conflict. But everybody knows that. The question is, how can you tell the most compelling story in a way that separates classic movies like Casablanca from blockbuster movies that are quickly forgotten? And that's what your student needs to learn. And there's a trick to that. And I've learned those tricks from, if I told you his name, I'd be giving away the secret. But I teach the secret freely in my tutoring and in my student success session. So even if I don't invite you to be part of my online group tutoring, you will get those secrets if you're lucky enough to get a student success session. So contact me, ask me how to qualify for that. I'll send you free tools. I'll send you my free journal just for the asking. All right, take care. Information's in the description.